What is up, people of the interweebs? It's your boy Suit, and I have something to say today because today, in honor of our Metallica series, I'm bringing back the categories explained that Denim kicked off with the intro. So, time to talk about what I think is the most important category. Now, most of you know me as drum expert Suit, so you might think I'd be talking about the drums. Not the case, because in my opinion, while the drums are an important part of a metal or a rock or metal song, not the most important. And you know what I do think is the most important? The guitar. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Suit, how could you pick guitar? You're a drummer. Why wouldn't you pick drums? Well, I'll tell you why. Drums are really good at setting the atmosphere. They're really good at setting the feeling the song's supposed to have. However, guitar, they are the ones who tell the story of the song. You know, you can't, as much as you can have an atmosphere and all that stuff, you need to be able to tell a story in that atmosphere. It sets the environment. Guitar is the one that's actually the storyteller of the song. Not to mention, you can have only a guitar in a song. There's not many songs that only have drums. So I feel like guitar is a little more important. At least that's my personal opinion. Now, to actually get into the guitars and how it tells the story, it's got a lot of options, and that's one of the great things about it. You know, you can have a clean guitar. You can have a distorted guitar. You can have pedals out the max in a guitar. You can have an acoustic guitar. You could have one guitar. You could have two guitars. You could have three guitars. You could even have four guitars and it would still sound fantastic. Let's focus in on one of those things I mentioned, having three guitars in a song and how that might not be used the most effectively. Take a listen to So Cold by Breaking Benjamin. Now, by no means that's a bad song. I love So Cold, but you know what? That intro guitar, when there's the three guitars playing at the same time, doesn't work so well. You know, they don't complement each other that well. They're all kind of playing in the same range, and they just kind of end up knocking each other out of your ear. Let's take a listen to the song where they use three guitars effectively. Wheat Kings by the Tragically Hip. Now, this song is great. You got your rhythm guitar really filling out that sound, then you got more of the dynamic guitar that follows the melody of the song, and then you've got that that other guitar that just does the accents in the song. It works really well by accentuating where the accents should be in the song and where the excitement should be. Speaking of knowing when the accents and stuff are, let's take a look at what I like to call knowing when to shut up. Now, what do you think I mean by that? Take a listen to Dead But Rising by Volbeat. Now, this song is a good song, and it's a really good guitar song too. Why do I say that? Because the guitarist knows when he's supposed to be the center of attention in that song. Like in the intro, he's doing a lot of dynamic, interesting things that grab your attention. And he knows when he's not the center of attention. Like in the chorus, when the singer is singing, you know, and he takes a back seat, fills out that background role, and really does a good guitar part throughout the entire song. You wanna know who doesn't know when to shut up? Take a listen to Subdivision. It tells me that Alex Lifeson knew at all whether he was supposed to be quiet or not. Now, a common misconception about guitar parts is that complicated is better. That is not at all the case. Take a listen to Smells Like Teen Spirit. Now, Kurt Cobain is no virtuoso of the instrument, so of course he's going to come up with a more simple guitar, but he gets the job done. It makes you feel the excitement you're supposed to feel in this song, and even though it's not that complicated, it absolutely hits a homer. Now, of course, the flip side to this, complicated isn't always better. Looking at you, John. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, the guitar is the part of the song that tells the story of the music of the song. So of course it's got to make you feel the feels it needs you to feel. And what song does that better than Fade to Black by Metallica? This song's got the dynamic that has it necessary. It's heavy and dark and sad and angry all at once. It's got the low parts for the soft parts and then the heavy parts for the harder parts, and it goes so well with the lyrics, and it does exactly what it needs to do throughout the whole song. Now, every good guitar song started at one point or another as a good guitar riff. And you know what? Having a good riff is a great part of having a good guitar song. The problem is when you're building that song, you have to work away from the riff just as much as you have to use it. If you don't, you fall into what we at Material Lord Central like to call working man syndrome. So, to recap, you got a lot of options. Make sure you use them right. You gotta know when to shut up. Just because you're simple doesn't mean you're bad, and just because you're complicated doesn't mean you're good. Make sure you feel the feels you need to feel, and of course, don't let one riff be your whole song. So, you might be sitting there, that's a lot of criteria, that seems pretty hard to do. What's an example of a song that does all those things? Well, I'll tell you, and it's by one of the greatest guitar heroes of all time, Van Halen, Panama. Thanks for watching.